So this episode is also pre-recorded, so if we get anything wrong, it's because of that. This is also the final episode of season 1. We decided to break up the CuberCast podcast into seasons. So, yeah. This will be coming back in around mid-August, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, we're just going to take a little bit of a break, if you don't mind. And it was nice having you guys for season 1 of the CuberCast podcast. Hello everyone, welcome to the CuberCast Podcast, where we talk about what's happening in our universe of cubing. I'm Carter Cubes on Twitch and YouTube.
I'm Humble Cuber on Twitch and YouTube.
And I'm Carter Kid on Twitch and YouTube.
In today's episode of the CuberCast Podcast, we're going to be discussing what it was like to run a podcast for the first time.
So yeah, besides Humble, Carter and I, and Cameron for the first bit of the podcast, this was our first time working in a format like this. We're used to short videos, like under 10 minutes, reviews, solves, skits and stuff, but not really just talking freely in a podcast setting. So yeah, that was really interesting to do for the first time.
This was originally my idea to do the podcast, mainly because I just felt like this one podcast actually ended, and I felt like that I could fill in that spot and maybe do a better job. So what I did was that I just kind of made this CuberCast logo, and then I kind of let it sit around for a little bit. And we didn't actually get to work until like January. Or I don't think anyone here was because we had like a whole different cast, but we started in January, and we uploaded our first episode in like March, so it wasn't really that long. But yeah, there's a lot of other things behind it. So yeah.
So the way I remember actually coming onto this podcast, or like basically becoming part of the cast of this podcast, is I actually just got a message basically through a group DM saying, "Hey, who wants to be on podcast?" I'm like, that seems like pretty fun. So I'd actually decided to join, and actually it's been really fun doing this podcast now. Definitely a great way just to talk about what's going on in cubing and have an open discussion about it. Definitely better than having these scripted videos.
Yeah, I agree. It was a super fun experience. We tried a bunch of times to make this. Like, we ended up making a server and then deleting it, and then making another server and then deleting it. And then we made a third server, and we've kept it as it is now. If you want to join it, link will be at the top of the description, as always. But yeah, we've come a long way. As Carter said, he made that logo, and then we made the server, and then we kept deleting them until we made the third one. And yeah, we're actually recording it on the server right now, which is really cool. And yeah, I think we've come a long way with this podcast, which is really cool.
Actually, a fun fact, I guess. The top reason why this podcast wasn't released earlier was because of Monkey League. Like, my whole cast, it wasn't this cast, it was actually like a different cast. They just wanted to watch Monkey Week. And we always, like, didn't line it up correctly, so we'd, like, when our schedules lined up, a Monkey Week match would always be playing. Like, I'm not joking. That's actually what happened. So, yeah. That's why this podcast was not released earlier.
A story is we missed episodes because Carter had to eat dinner.
Oh, yes, let's talk about that.
Oh, no. Oh,
so,
please.
So some funny stories about podcasting is many times we tried to record episodes, and Humble and I have been sitting in the VC. We're just waiting for Carter, and he just doesn't join. So then we spam ping him, and then he hears his iPad buzzing because he was eating dinner. Let's give a hand for Carter for making it to those episodes.
Yeah, it was episode. I think it was the one with
It was
Dylan. It was the one with Oxalaki, and then the one with Maxwell.
It was episode number 4.
So we're all in different time zones. So like, it's not that hard to coordinate actually.
It's hard to coordinate it. Well, it's not that hard. It's just we're stupid. So like,
yeah, we're stupid. So
it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard to coordinate if you're stupid.
So I guess I'll just share a story of mine. So let me think. Oh yeah, right. So when we started the server, it was really because like this one person in the group DM just like made the server as a joke because it was kind of like a running joke that we were never able to run this up. And I think the first message was sent by KTK, and he spammed a bunch of Owen emotes, like Owen Morrison emotes. Like,
oh yeah, that was the first message. I was just spamming like, oh.
Like, yeah, you can
see what the first message in the server is.
Like,
me
it's the
see, so
first
from-
server.
It's just Owen
From Card
Morrison.
Trick Kid. Yeah, the first message in the server was in the cast channel.
Yeah, it was in the cast
Oh
channel.
my gosh,
It's
Owen.
just-
that is funny.
it was just a bunch of
God.
Owen emotes. So like this is
Oh yeah, it
This-
was Owen laugh, Owen
That's
smile, Owen peer ahead, Owen happy, and Owen 2. Why do you
Yeah.
have all those
Spammed it, like,
emotes, Carter?
I don't know
Literally
why I have all
spammed
those
it.
emotes. I honestly don't. But I'm
And
gonna
the first,
keep them
the
anyway.
first, and the first message in general chat was by Carter, a very mature man, saying first. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but
Oh
you
my god.
spammed Owen like 5 times inside cast. No, more than that. It's just like a line of Owen Morrisons.
Bruh.
I think I made like a pyramid or something.
Alright, what else do you guys want to talk about? Just
Talk about Bing.
Oh yeah, okay, so Humble,
I
you can talk about Bing.
Wait, didn't it
Yeah.
start because we were talking about search engines?
Oh yeah, we were talking about yeah, okay.
Yeah,
wait,
I
what?
got
You
it,
can
I
do
got
that.
it.
You can do that one.
I'm gonna talk about Bing.
Yeah, you can talk about Bing.
Alright, so kind of like another funny story we had. During the first recording of our episode ever, I don't know what exactly we were talking about, but somehow we ended up on the topic of search engines, and then we just started all saying Bing, and then that just turned to a reoccurring joke now, basically. So that, like, and sometimes in, like, the channels, we just kind of just say Bing randomly. But, like, also before we start, like, every single podcast, we end up just saying Bing right into the mic, like, really loud. I don't know, it's kind of just, like, the podcasting way now, I guess. Just Bing has become part of the podcasting process.
I mean, what I always say, I think like I think we're just gonna keep this for even for season 2, but like I just always say at the beginning, get all the Bings out of your system because 3, 2, 1, and just invite the bot to record. So and then everyone just says like Bing and I just like hit record. So yeah. That's kinda funny. Let's just talk about some like really hard like the challenges of podcasting.
When I used to edit the episodes, I'm not editing right now. Carter is taking over that job now. Editing was pretty difficult because sometimes the bot would just like not exist, and it was difficult because like sometimes it just wouldn't record certain segments and vital segments to the podcast, and that made me pretty mad. So yeah, that was annoying, but I think we figured it out mostly, so that's nice.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we gotta get a new bot eventually. His voice is like nails on a chalkboard. Every time he hops in, he's like, now recording, in the most annoying robotic voice possible.
Another challenge is just sort of I mean the challenges of podcasting there are a lot, but like for a lot of first timers it's really not so intuitive. It's not they've people have made it easier. Like I found a really good app, I'll just plug it in now, Anchor by Spotify. That's a really good podcasting app. It's a little bit limited, but I think it does the job and it gives a lot of good demographics. Anyway, I just really think that first time trying to put all your podcasts onto the world, we're very lucky to have a fan base where we can just reach out to them and say, hey, listen to this episode, and we'll just subscribe to our podcast. But I know a lot of other people don't have that same luxury, and their podcasts end up not succeeding. So, yeah, we're very lucky with that.
Basically, because we posted this episode on a bunch of different podcasting host services, like Spotify. I doubt it was Spotify that this happened with. But basically, because our email is public, I believe, when we post it on there. So we actually got a spam bot, it seems like. Somebody gave away our email.
Got a ton of
posted our
spam emails.
Yeah, just looking at it now, we have about like 100 different spam emails, all saying like, claim your free iPad Pro now. and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Thank you guys so much to listening to this episode and this season, actually, of the CuberCast Podcast. This episode will close out this first season of the CuberCast Podcast. Let us know what you thought of the season in the comments below. We enjoy feedback from fans and viewers, so yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening to this season and to this episode. And yeah, we'll see you next season starting in mid-August.
Yeah, don't forget to join our Discord server for the latest updates about season 2 and also just the CuberCast podcast in general. It was very nice having all of you watch podcasts and just listen to it. We have about pretty much hundreds of people who listen to this podcast, and I'm just really grateful for everyone who has. So
Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you guys back in season 2. Thank you guys for listening. We wouldn't be able to do this without your guys' support. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in about a month and a half.
bye everybody.
Bye.
My name is Chicka Chicka Slim Shady.